Go. You're alive.
Paste are their own things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, this is just a basic overview.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm Vibex. I make keyboard layouts.
Wait, you pronounce it Vibex?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoops.
Oops.
We pronounced it wrong.
My bad.
So, this is just a basic overview of designing your own keyboard layout to fit, like, your own specific needs, since QWERTY is a piece of shit.
What do you think of the other layouts?
I used Colmac for a while. It's really easy to get used to from QWERTY. Dvorak is dumb. It's too much. It's too drastic of a change. It is.
That's why it's good though, because you want a drastic change.
Well, no, it's too much of a change, and it's too inconsistent in your the fingers you use to click is just there's too many repeat presses. At least when I was testing out with it, but I only used it for a week or so. So I mean, I'm sure after a while you get used to it, but I didn't feel a need to. But so, yeah, this is just the basic frequency of letters that are used. E is by far the most, then T, and then everything kind of drops off from there with letters like J and Z and X all sad on their own. And then if you switch to the frequency table tab, so then these are the most common digraphs. Yeah, these are the most common digraphs. So like TH is the most common one. And digraphs are just combinations of letters in words, like two single letters in words. So that's important when designing a layout because you don't want to have them on like a single finger stroke. So you don't want to have like T and H like right next to each other. Otherwise, you'll just be going back and forth for like half the words you're typing. And it just becomes really uncomfortable. Yeah. So when designing a layout, you just want to minimize those as much as possible, so you don't have any like repetitive stress injuries. And if you guys just want to pass this around and look at it. So if you'll go over to the last one and we can just stay there the rest of the time. So this is the layout I designed. I started work on it because I wanted something. Oh, actually this is an old version.
Doesn't look right.
Yeah, that's not correct anymore. But that's whatever, who cares. So I think this was the original version. So the basics for this was I saw a JD40 and I wanted to buy one, but Colmac, which was what I was using at the time, would not work. So being obsessive like I am, I decided to make my own layout. So the key characteristic was fitting in the base that QWERTY does without having the extra row at the end like most custom layouts do. So I started with letters like T and E, since they're the most common on the index fingers for the home row, because they're the easiest keys to press. And then from there I went down the row to like A, I, and S on the right hand or left hand, because they're common letters again, and then O and N on the right hand because they're also common letters. And then just toss everything that no one uses, like Q and Z and X. And I don't really remember how J got up there, but those are the like harder spots on a keyboard to reach, especially when you have tiny hands like me. So I put uncommon letters in those areas. And in comparison to like, that's not a button, but in comparison to like Colmac or Dvorak, I don't know, tried to ignore what QWERTY had taught everyone over the years of like where letters should be, and just went for what would be the most efficient and easiest keystrokes to reach. Though in the final version I ended up with Z, X, and C back in their original positions.
Your home row looks like it's very Colmac influenced. Like ARST, NEIO kind of.
Yeah, in this version, in the final version, which is still getting passed around, it's actually even more influenced because Colmac was what I never learned to touch type on QWERTY. It was like 2 years back. I went, I'll finally get around to it, and just started with Colmac. So that was like my basis for all touch typing. So that was where I drew most of my influence from. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say. If anyone has any questions.
Sorry, so what is it about Colmac that wouldn't work that yours resolves?
Colmac uses, like, on a normal keyboard you have, like, 4 rows for all your fingers. And Colmac uses that. Your pinky has, I think it's I on it?
Yeah, pinky's I.
Yeah. So since you couldn't fit that on the keyboard, there's just not a spot for it unless you want to use the Enter key for it. And I didn't really want
I
to.
totally split like the Enter key there.
Yeah. If it
Like an
would
extra key.
if it would have split, I probably would have gone for that. And I thought for a while I'd just move it up to like take the place of K, or where, because in Colmac there's nothing, or there's just punctuation there. There's no actual letter. I was just going to move the I up there and see how that worked, and I tested that for like a week or two, and it just was too much similar without being the same thing to get used to. I just kept screwing up and not actually typing.
What kind of typing do you do? What kind of typing do you do? Like normal typing, coding typing?
I do programming and just like general typing, posting on forums and stuff.
Is it weird to have the function keys opposite from the number keys? Because the number keys go up and then the function keys come down.
What do you, wait, what?
So like the number keys 1, 2, 3 is on the bottom and then 7, 8, 9 is at the top, but the function keys are opposite. 1, 2, 3, 4 is at the top and 19, 11, 12 is at the bottom.
I actually don't think that's true in the final version.
Oh, okay.
I think that's just a problem here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, it's definitely, 1 through 4 is on the bottom on the final version. I don't know why.
Are you setting up this layout in hardware, or are you doing this on an OS?
I have it both in OS and in hardware.
What OSs are you using, and how are you configuring it?
I have it in. I mostly use Linux. I had a Windows version. I don't know if I've kept that up to date. And I just copied the US layout and made my changes to it.
XML map kind of
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah. Where do your index fingers rest when you're on the keyboard?
They rest on T and N.
And-
So yeah, it's
TD.
yeah, it's N on that layout. It would be E here, I guess.
So how sad are you about the really long spacebar?
Very sad. I hate large space bars.
Because you could totally have like at least 2 keys.
Yeah.
At least.
Probably 3.
Well, have you seen
These
Matthias's
guys-
split spacebar?
I
It's
have
like
not.
it's really
It's extra wide.
yeah, it's extra wide and short.
It's 1.5 by. Well, the Ergo Pro is going to have 1.5 by 2.5.
Okay.
And two
And then-
and 2 keys for space.
Oh,
Right. And then
oh
on
yeah,
the-
yeah. I've
yeah.
seen pictures of
On
it.
their
Yeah,
60% thing, it's going to
Beautiful.
be 1.5 by 4.5 or 1.5 by 5, something like that.
I think that's the one I saw. That's
So
Yeah.
that's on the
Mhm.
single
Yeah.
single spacebar version.
Yeah.
So are the reason why super and menu are keys in all layers is that because they're like the standard modifiers or because you actually use them a lot?
It's the
they're standard modifiers.
Windows
Okay.
key.
Yeah. I just use it because I use the super key for like my window manager,
Okay.
and I still needed to be able to use it and like the left, up, down, right. All those
So you
keys.
like those like Japanese space bars then, right?
Yeah, the split. Yeah.
What? Menu key. I like never used the menu key.
Neither do I. Just didn't know what else to throw there.
How-
Because I don't.
Caps lock.
I don't use.
You don't want to have
Shift lock.
Isn't that what that
means?
Yeah, I think
Right?
it's like right click. It's equivalent of right click.
Doesn't that bring up the start menu?
No,
No,
that's
no,
super.
that's
yeah, okay.
That's
That's
Windows
like
key.
you can tell
It's to the right of your.
So it brings the context menu up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. So if you don't have like.
How fast are you at this layout?
I think I'm currently at like 40 words per minute, but I can definitely get faster than that. I'm just lazy and don't practice.
Did you get up to like 70 or 80 at Colmac?
Yeah, Colmac. I think I did like 75-ish words per minute, and QWERTY before I touched type, I think I also had like 75, 80 words per minute.
Have you posted this on the Colmac forums at all? And
Mhm.
that's pretty good. Okay.
No.
So did you actually try to did you do any analysis of the digraphs and like where they work out?
I started off with just like what people had posted already. I didn't feel like getting my own data, but since I started working on this, I'm still gonna make some improvements to it. Like,
But I just mean like, did you actually try to run some kind of analysis showing like which digraphs end up on the same finger and how frequent they are and whatever?
oh yeah, I worked out just on pen and paper like what key or what fingers I used to touch what keys, and then just tried to eliminate it from there.
Do you hit enter with your thumb sometimes? Or
No,
is
I
it easier
always
with
do
the
it with
finger?
this finger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to be the first one to put a serpentine gasket on your 40%?
Sure.
Okay. You got it.
All right. Cool.
What's this layout called?
I've been calling it Neo just because it's NEO on the right hand.
Wait, I think there's already
a Neo
Is
layout.
there? All right,
Yeah, that's
I
a
guess
German
I'll need a new
layout.
name.
Bummer.
All right.
That one you could call the whoop.
What? J-Whoop.
I was gonna call it Seattle.
Seattle
Clever.
CEO.
Yeah,
Well, it's Seattle Neo.
Does anyone else need this? Good old-
Yeah, can I look at it?
So, so once I actually figure out a physical layout that I like, I want to actually try to make like give some kind of numerical score. It'll be a little hacky to each 2-key combination on the same hand. So that's actually like a lot of them because it's it's like I don't know 14, somewhere between 12 and 15 keys squared.
Yeah.
Because they're all the possible combinations. And then basically take those numerical scores, figure out some kind of ranking for alternating, and then try to like do a full like some kind of full optimization of based on the digraphs that show up like in some corpus of my own code and text. But I think it'll be a little tricky because I don't know.
Yeah, when you first start getting rid of digraphs, it's really difficult. Like it took me a while to just get it down, because even now I think there's still like 1 or 2 that are in the top 20. Like
HE
most common.
there is
Yeah, this one was not
gonna be
good.
pretty bad.
Yeah, HE and no, I already fixed that one. E used to be
DO
on the other
is
side, but
probably
DO is actually DO is not as bad as you would think.
What
Because, I don't know,
Y?
that movement just didn't ever really bother me much, but yeah, this one definitely still had some problems. I thought this was a more recent picture. I should have looked at it
Wow,
closer.
that
but-
delete really works out well. I like that a lot. Where you can just hit the function key and then delete like.
Oh yeah, it's just like one fluid motion.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah. Anything else?
I guess the other thing that I would advise is it's not quite as standard, but I would advise rearranging your numpad so that it's not just like standard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because if you can get more fingers involved, well, it is especially help if you had some extra thumb keys. But the more fingers you can get involved, and the more you can put the like lower numbers directly on the home row, in theory, the better, faster you can get numbers typed. I don't know if you wanted to have 2 hands to do the numpad. Well, no, I just mean like I don't know if you want to put numbers on both right and left fingers. That might get a little silly.
You certainly could. It wouldn't be that much of a change because you're like on a normal keyboard, you already have them essentially on both hands because you have to, or not.
It's
in
a
a
cross.
right.
Yeah,
You have to reach up anyway.
Right.
So I don't think it would really be that hard to get used to.
Because then you could actually get almost all the numbers like each on a unique finger, and then you could type numbers very quickly, very accurately.
Yeah, the 2 lower layers of this, I didn't really put all that much effort into. I plan on improving them when I get my small fry from the JD40 from the small fry group by. Yeah.
And then I guess the last thing is, if you have extra space around, there's a bunch of useful kind of shortcuts that you can put on keystrokes, like having Alt Tab and Alt Back Tab.
When I first designed this, I wasn't sure what the firmware would or wouldn't allow me to do, so I just threw this together first. I would definitely include stuff like Shift Tab, Alt Tab, etc. All done.